Hello, good afternoon. You've tuned into Your Stocks coming live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studios. I'm Vinny Motiwala. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, a good day coming in for the markets, but they've remained at the 25,100 levels. Around that mark, what the Nifty is managing to hold on to. Sensex also 82,400 levels. About that level is what the Sensex is trading at. Nifty Bank also managing to do well. 57,000 is what it touched at one point of time. Right now, it's trading below the 57,000 level, 56,900. So after touching that point, it came down to that 56,900, and that's where it's remained in that range. Outperformance coming in from the mid and small caps. So clearly, we're seeing the broader end of the markets that are managing to hold on to very strong gains in today's trading session. But that's how the market setup is looking like today. This is a show where we solve all your stock-related queries, as always. And for that, we have our experts joining with us, Ashish Kyal of Wave Strategy Advisors, as well as Gaurang, Shah, Senior Vice President at Geojit Financial Services, joining in with us to answer all your stock-related queries. Ashish, as well as Gaurang, happy Monday to both of you all. We are all dressed in some sort of blue today, but there's no Monday blues coming in for the markets, and that's what I'm hoping out for. And hoping for the rest of the week, we see more green coming in. But Ashish, today, what we're seeing is 57,000 Nifty Bank. It managed to touch those all-time high levels, right? What are we watching out for specifically there in terms of levels?
See, I can see on the screen all the blues, and I think it's a positive sign. Bank Nifty also touching that 57,000 level mark. It's a positive sign. So if you look at overall Nifty and Bank Nifty, we got a very good bazooka on Friday, and markets cheered that. I can see that the overall trend remains positive because it was Bank Nifty was under consolidation since almost a month, and it has given a breakout just on the Friday. So overall, I think any dips from here that one can get around that 56,800 should be a buying opportunity. We can eventually see 57,500 on Bank Nifty over near term. And on the downside, the important support is going to be at around 56,300 levels. As far as Nifty is concerned, I think Nifty should also be rallying from here around to the levels of 25,300, 25,400, as long as we are able to protect 24,900 on the downside.
Okay. Keeping an eye out on those levels over there for the Nifty as well as the Bank and Nifty. But on that note, we'll start with the stock-related queries. The first query for today is coming in from Anuj Kumar, who's writing to us from New Delhi. He's holding 1,000 shares of Garden Reach Shipbuilders, and this is at a price of 2,000 rupees per share. Stock is at 3,238 rupees. Wants to know the short-term view on his investment. Gaurang, what is your view coming in for Garden Reach? Look at the stock in just the last 1 month as well, right? We again saw these up moves coming in for the stock, specifically after Operation Sindoor and around that time when we started seeing the run-up coming in. They've got a lot of order wins in the recent times as well. Today itself, we've seen some MOU signing also, 2 MOUs they've signed. Outlook in the short term for Garden Reach.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show, Vinny. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. Just a small disclosure, recommendations are a part of our research team, Geojit, or I do not have any financial or investment interest or any material conflict of interest. We give recommendations to our client. They might be holding the position. As far as Garden Reach and the entire defense sector, Vinny, I think, look, you invest in defense sector, have 3-year, 5-year kind of time horizon. I primarily say this because, the order book that they get, it takes time to get executed. The products that they make are very precise and high technology oriented. Unfortunately, we don't have direct coverage on Garden Reach Shipbuilders, but similarly, our fundamental team covers Cochin Shipyard, which is also a star performer in the last 3 to 6 months. And as a defense theme, we remain positive. Unfortunately, since we don't cover Garden Reach, I won't be able to give any specifics over there. And more importantly, short-term queries are equally difficult for me.
Absolutely. But on the technicals and charts, Ashish, short term, what should the viewer do, right? 80% in the last 1 month. Who will complain at such a return coming in? So what should they do for the short term? Is it time to just book out the profits, or, are you expecting some bit of a run-up?
So that's a spectacular trend that the viewer has captured, and I would suggest book at least 50% here. That would help to take something off the table. And for the remaining position, use a trailing stop loss method, which is currently at around 3,000 levels. So use 3,000 as a stop loss. And there is a possibility that the stock can move higher toward the level of 3,730. So there it's where that's the level where you can look forward to book the partial profit as well.
Okay. at least book some bit of a profit and enjoy those returns that are coming in. That's the word coming in from Ashish as well. Partial profit booking is what they could look out for. Next query for today, Venkatesh is writing to us from Andhra Pradesh. He's holding 24 shares of Deepak Nitrite and set a price of 2,041 rupees per share. Wants to know whether he should continue to hold or look to sell Deepak Nitrite. Long-term view coming in for this one, Gaurang. Deepak Nitrite, what is the story that we're watching out for here? They're making some bit of a loss.
So within the sector looks extremely promising, but unfortunately, coverage not being there, I won't be able to give specific. My sense is this entire chemical, agrochemical, specialty chemicals. I think there was a time post-COVID when China plus one was expected to augur extremely well for the Indian companies, which are largely having their footprints into the export market. But it was a slow process. So we like the sector. Unfortunately, since we don't have a coverage, I won't give specific buy, sell, or hold.
Okay. Like the sector as such specifically, but obviously no coverage, so no buy, sell, or hold, but the sector seems to be doing well. Ashish, on the technicals, what's the view coming in for Deepak Nitrite? Are there any worries or glitches that we're watching out for right now?
Yes, indeed, because the sector is extremely bullish. We can look at the stocks like SRF or Tirupalli Chemical or those kind of stocks. They have outperformed. Deepak Nitrite, on the other hand, has continued to drift lower after forming a high at 2190. It has moved down to 1950, and we are not seeing any kind of a relief rally also in the stock as of now. So my suggestion would be to be out from this stock and invest into something like a Tata Chemical. That would be a better choice and an option. And over here, the support for the stock is around 1890, but it's better to be out for now.
Okay, better to get out and maybe, look at something like a Tata Chemical is what Ashish is saying. Next query for today. This is an interesting one. We had the news flow also that came in from the NCX side over the weekend. So Rekha is writing to us from Chennai. She's holding 18 shares of MCX and this is at a price of 1,333 rupees per share. She wants to know what should she be doing with her holdings. Should she continue to hold? Should she look to sell? Gaurang, your view coming in for MCX, right? Given that they've gotten this nod coming in from the SEBI for the launch of electricity derivatives, we've seen the stock, obviously they will see the benefits coming in there. Your view?
So, Vinny, look, the entire sector looks extremely positive, whether it is to do with the Indian capital markets or Indian commodity markets. Again, no specifics on MCX because we don't have coverage, but one of the biggest volume drivers for MCX is the commodity trades with respect to gold. And of course, now with new products getting added to the overall basket, volumes are likely to go up quite significantly and thereby the numbers should look very, very encouraging. So if you are positive on the Indian capital market or the commodity market, then related companies will also perform well, Vinny, from a long-term point of view.
Okay. Ashish, your view for MCX, what are you watching out for in terms of levels over here?
MCX has shown a spectacular run-up over the past few days. Even today, I think it's up by more than 6.8% right now. The overall undertone is positive. Continue to ride this trend. This looks to be a third wave on the upside, and we can expect the stock to reach towards the level of 8,500. So overall tone is positive. On the downside, the support for the stock is at 7,420. So maintain a target of 8,500 over here over near term.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there for MCX. Let's move on to the next query for today, and this is coming in from Tony, who's writing to us from Delhi. He's holding 500 shares of NTPC. The price is 392 rupees per share. They're making a loss on this one right now. Wants to know if he should continue to stay invested in this one. Gaurang, your view for NTPC?
So if you're a long-term investor, power sector is something that our research team is extremely positive about. Yeah. Other than NTPC, we have coverage on names like Tata Power, Torrent Power, CESC, JSW Energy, just to name a few. The entire power sector has seen a major turnaround in terms of government policy. There are almost about 300 to 500 gigawatts of new power generating capacities that are going to be added in the next 3 to 5 years. The largest part of that new power generating capacity will come from clean and green energy. Our team is positive on NTPC on the buy side. Unfortunately, the investment is at a little bit elevated level. But in case if the investor has investable amount from a long-term point of view, then maybe closer to 300, if you get an opportunity, you can add to it so that you bring down your overall investment price.
Okay. And Ashish, your view coming in for the stock, technical levels that they should watch out for, could they actually come back to the buying level in the near term?
Yes, if you look at NTPC, I think the stock had made a very important low again at around 325. 325 is the level where the stock has bounced back multiple times. Even this time it has done that. So overall undertone looks to have turned on the upside again. And we can expect it the levels of around 353 over near term. And on the downside, 325 remains a very crucial support.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there. But on that note, we're going to sip into a very short break and some updates for our viewers as we sip into the break. Give an edge to your investments and trading journey with all new Money Control Super Pro. Explore Alpha Generators, one of Super Pro's super features, and get live trading and investing ideas from a SEBI-registered research analyst like Amrish Baglia, as well as Naresh Mirani and others. Get your investment superpower today. Subscribe now. Welcome back to Your Stocks on CNBC TV18. We have some updates that are coming in. Wipro has just seen a very large trade coming in of around 5,000 crores. Change of hands that we're seeing, 250 rupees per share, and this is via the block deal. So keep an eye out on Wipro. As of now, 0.7% of gain, 20 crore change of hands, 2.2% equity change of hands is what we're seeing there. So Wipro is in stock to watch out for. But let's keep it going with all your stock-related queries. We still have with us Ashish Kyal as well as Gaurang Shah to solve all those queries. Let's move on to the next query for today. We have Rakesh Gupta, who's writing to us from New Delhi. It's an investment query that is coming in, actually. He has funds of at least 30 lakhs right now, which he wants to invest in listed companies and unlisted as well. He wants to know which sectors can he start with. Gaurang, any specific view on what sectors or any specific top bets that you have coming in?
Vinny, I think without being adventurous, to be very honest, pick 5 sectors or maybe 6 sectors, 5 lakh rupees each into proportionately 5 lakh rupees each in one stock. So, to start off, banking, private sector bank, HDFC Bank would be the first investment idea from our team. Diversified play in terms of Reliance Industries, Cap Goods Engineering, L&T, autos, though we have an issue in terms of rare earth magnets from China, some curbs, M&M, in cement, Ultratech, and possibly if I have to take one more sector, IT, then TCS. These are all, by default, investment area from a long-term point of view. As I mentioned, divide the amount proportionality into these stocks. Don't put all your money at one time. Start at current levels. On dips, you can add on.
Okay. That's a view coming in there from Gaurang. Any further addition to this as well, Ashish?
I think the financials, the banking names, the chemical space, these are the areas that can continue to outperform here. He can look forward to park money into something like Chola Financial Holdings. That's one of the stock that can outperform from here on. From the banking space, I think ICICI Bank can be a good option. To add on to it, I concur with the view of Mahindra and Mahindra that can be that can give good returns over a long-term perspective. And I think from the IT space, one can consider Tech Mahindra as a stock as well.
Oh, okay. That's the bets coming in there that one could look at also right now. Let's move on to the next query for today. Varsha is writing to us from Bangalore. She's holding 300 shares of Varun Beverages. Price is 490 rupees per share. Wants to know whether she should continue to hold or look to exit at current levels. Gaurang?
So look, if you're not in a hurry and if you're time by your side, my research team has given a hold stroke buy recommendation. And really, one thing that I've realized about this company is that there is no peer competition to compare with amongst the listed universe. And of course, the sector that it caters to, there is a very strong growth story that lies ahead of it.
Okay. And on the charts and technicals, how is it looking like, Ashish? There's not a very muted performance in the last few months that we've seen coming in. So what should the viewer now expect here?
Yes, I agree, Vinny, because the stock was around in the month of 17th, on 17th April, the stock made a high of 568. It is now at 478. So it is slowly and steadily drifting downside and in this upside market. So that remains little concerning. Having said that, it has an important support on the downside at around 460 levels. So my suggestion would be hold on over here. 460 is an important support. If stock can manage to break above that 490 mark, then the momentum can pick up and we can expect the levels of around 540 on the upside.
Okay. Thanks so much for that in terms of the levels that we should watch out for from Varun Beverages. The next query for today, this is coming from Ravi also, who's writing to us from New Delhi. 200 shares of SBI. This is at a price of 294 rupees per share. So clearly he's been holding it for a while. We've seen good run-ups also coming in for SBI. Wants to know whether he can book profits or should he continue to hold without booking profits. Gaurang, what should they be doing? They're holding it from 294 to today 821. So they have been patient. There's no doubt about that. But should they continue to hold still?
Well, honestly, I don't remember the year and the date when SBI was quoting at that price. So hats off to that investment. Fantastic investment in a very decent banking company. And of course, in terms of investment, holding on to long term, well, if you really don't need money, if you have time by your side, then why don't you let your investment grow to the next level? This is, of course, subject to time being on the side and no need of money. We have a buy stroke hold recommendation on State Bank of India from our research team.
Okay. And Ashish, your view coming in for the stock as well. Should they continue to hold? Maybe some bit of a profit booking is fine right now. What is your suggestion?
No, I would suggest continue to hold. Do not book your profits now because the stock was at around 295. I think in 2020, December 2020. From there, the stock has given a spectacular move. It's now again breaking out. It is yet to touch that lifetime high levels, which the Bank Nifty did. I think SBI will drive Bank Nifty higher. So overall undertone is bullish. We can see SBI around the levels of 1,000 as well. So the overall undertone remains positive.
Okay. Keep an eye out on SBI. Undertone is positive, so don't sell the stock right now. That's the view coming in from Ashish as well. Let's move on to the next query for today. This is coming in from Shubham Jain, who's writing to us from Pune, holding 90 shares of PNB. This is at a price of 90 rupees per share. Wants to know whether he should remain invested in PNB. Gaurang?
Well, long term, definitely buy and hold recommendation. And I think after last week, Friday announcement by the Honorable RBI Governor, the entire BFSI segment looks well poised in terms of growth, especially some of the public sector names like PNB, SBI, Bank of Baroda, Indian Bank, wherein the numbers have also been much better quarter on quarter and the asset quality is also improved.
Okay, that's a view coming in there for the stock. You can look at some other banks also. We spoke about SBI also before as well. But on that note, we're actually out of time on this edition of Your Stock. So Gaurang as well as Ashish, thank you so much for joining in with us as always and helping our viewers solve the doubts. And viewers, thank you so much for sending us your query. Keep sending us your query. The email address is at the top of your screens. So you can send us all your stock-related queries. We'll solve them on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. But with that, we'll wind down this edition on Your Stocks today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Up next, your closing bell to take you through the last start of trade.